also put a proud white-owned business. You know, like that's the like that's what we need to start doing. Proud white-owned
Made in
business.
America.
Alright, pass helping them white people call you a nigga. So, I mean, any infrastructure? The fuck? Hey, bro, we want to do everything, but what the fuck we supposed to? I don't understand.
What are you saying? We need to buy a state, nigga? Or are you trying to say we need to go buy Wyoming or Montana or Idaho? What are you trying to
What
say?
you mean? What you mean by infrastructure too?
Yeah, Wyoming doesn't exist, by the way. So yeah, just so you know.
So what the fuck is Wyoming?
What do you mean Wyoming doesn't exist? What does that
Nope,
mean, sir?
Wyoming does not exist. Just leave it alone. Go look it up.
What do you mean?
Mm-hmm. It's a government psyop. Go look it up.
Well, I know the name.
Montana too.
The name came from. It means plains or prairies. It came from the supposed individual.
It's an inside joke that people from Wyoming have. They say
you from Wyoming
doesn't exist. No, I'm not from Wyoming. I'm from New York, but I live in Wyoming now. I've been here.
Hold on, you don't want us out there?
What part?
Say what?
You
No,
don't
there's about 6 of them. Which part are you living in? Which part are you?
You said there's about 6 of them. What? Wait,
About
what?
6. I was in Cody.
Oh, you was in Cody.
For a while, yeah. Where you at?
Cheyenne.
You're saying,
But this is my last. Yeah, it is. But you know, it's crazy because the further north into the state you go, the prettier it gets. As you know, the tall grasslands is you know, it's whatever. It's mostly flat lands, but you're high up, you're thousands of feet up in the air, so it still looks pretty. But the northwest and northeast sections of the state was prettiest. I'm out of here though. I'm out of here in May. I'm going up to Alaska.
Hey, that's beautiful. But listen though, real quick, cause listen, it's some of us that got money, right? Good money, and I'm trying to get through to them. But we need everybody as a whole, right? Cause listen, they could just start the hospitals and then graduate black doctors and nurses. They just transition to them, and then invest in the grocery stores and the black farmers got somewhere directly to send their fruits and vegetables and more black trucking companies and like, bro, this shit is not fucking hard. People be like, how do we? Maybe we just look at the people who did it before us and the current infrastructure that is already in place and mimic it. Like, why the fuck do we be like, how? Colonizing other people's money though. I understand.
Exactly. But then you also have the ability, because the last week I brought up this concept with me, like shout out to S, because I meant like it was but I brought it up, the aspect of, you know, saying that, well, I was like, everybody should, if you black, you should go to a HBCU. It should be fucking mandatory. But then we got to a point it should be like 1 year. But even going beyond that, if you want to think about it, you should build infrastructure, like you're saying, around these universities. We should be planning and trying to have our people go to these universities and around the university, because universities is in the aspect of a miniature ecosystem. So you can build off of that. Because Grow Good, I don't know if you've seen how, you know, you in the area, so you've seen University of Maryland and where it came from to where it is now. It literally, College Park wasn't just all dedicated to it, but now the whole fucking city is the University of Maryland. That means you're able to have businesses, you have all these different things, housing facilities, high schools, elementary schools, middle schools. You have everything within the span of that university or college. So we have HBCUs. We can actually put these things into play. Howard University, which is kind of the same, you know, as an aspect in an urban area, but it can be done. We can utilize building around the universities. You got young professionals, you got people like, I just see that if we talking about talking that and doing that, that is somewhere that we can actually start where there is a foundation already. Oh, that's not extreme enough for y'all.
What about relocation? To piggyback off of that, OJ, what you think about relocation?
Relocation to where? To another country?
We need to be close.
Or to another state?
When I say relocation, like looking at, you know, where the center of political power is in the nation or the centers, and then having black people relocate to those spots to have bigger influence on a broader spectrum of things.
Well, I don't know.
I
That's
tell
why I was
people to
trying to.
I tell people to move
I
to the
think that's
DMV all the
smart.
time for that very reason, and for the economic advantages. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, if have y'all seen the structures? If you go to your state university or the largest university in your state, the capital one, look at the ecosystem or the economy. It's not the ecosystem. My apologies. The economy around that university. Look at the things that actually birthed out of there. And all I'm saying is that if we
That
can
is
do the
also
same,
the ecosystem. You weren't wrong.
yeah, I'm just saying, like if you can go, I'm just saying as a starter. We talk about our people, our cultures. This is also where you're able to develop these startups, develop the apps. You got, you're dealing with individuals in the university. These young men and women, boom, propel us or propel not us, propel the world, the individuals in their community to the next level, introducing newer, better things, and then you have the people there to support. That's bringing in the money, bringing in the jobs, bringing in just a newer. I don't know. This is basically how I thought about it. Like, why
So,
not?
how would you propose getting around the issue of scaling? Because what I've looked at and what I've heard and what I've spoken to from like anecdotal experience is that the issue isn't that there's not enough black owned businesses, is there's not enough black owned businesses employing black people. So it's an issue of scale, not an issue of startup.
Well, you're gonna have the access to more black because if you go. That's why I said go around HBCUs. I'm not saying some of them don't have. It's a lot of these HBCUs. The majority of the population having to be white. But if you go to the schools that you can help produce the next doctors, the next lawyers that are able to assist them. Like, cause once you graduate from school, that is the you see certain groups of people. They create communities. They have the lawyer friend, the doctor friend, the economist, all the different fucking names that you can think of to create their community where they all move together. They develop a development, and they plant their seed from there, and then it starts to sprout. That's
So
all
then
I'm saying is doing the same thing.
so then my question to you then, and this is a real conversation, then when you look at different communities, they all have like a foothold on some type of some type of apparatus that's attached to the system, right? So like when you talk to a Chinese American or Indian American, whatever, they'll tell you that their parents said, be an engineer. If you can't be an engineer, be a doctor. If you can't be a doctor, we'll settle for you being a lawyer, right? And they have created inroads into that industry. Um, I look at it as to me, what seems to be an overlooked opportunity is that black people in America have created the most inroads in entertainment, but because entertainment has such a negative stigma to it, even though there's different ways to entertain responsibly, morally, and even educate, there hasn't been an emphasis on creating like an infrastructure, pipeline, standards, or rules in order for that capital to be amassed and then be funneled into other parts of the community. So how would you get over to shift where the attention is in terms of like what black people in America have been able to pretty much take over, which is really media all over the world and culture all over the world? Or would you shift it to something else, like being a
I
white
ain't gonna
person?
lie. I'm utilizing the same thing they utilize. The
I wouldn't.
same.
I wouldn't say black
Do you?
people.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't say black people created an entertainment business, but y'all be acting like black people, or y'all be acting like y'all don't come from inventors and engineers and millionaires, and it's just inventors. Period. Like that's crazy.
So
We were just talking about the other day what. Sorry, I'm eating, but what a person would try to do in a day of life had they not, used anything that was invented by a person of color, African American, black person, whatever you want to call it, no matter where they come from. So that's the part that kind of disconnects with me. Is like maybe that is what they want you to think is that all black people, all African American, whatever, is focused on entertainment, but don't ever forget where you come from. Just
No, it's not a focus on entertainment. It's just saying that the entertainment industry, like the
Has
content
become,
that's
yeah,
created,
it's
it
become
mainly comes from the minds of
associated with
black
black
people.
people. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
so
saying
for
the same
me,
thing.
I'm like, okay, if that's the industry that seems to be like institutionally black, wouldn't you want to make sure that you control the different uh, vertices of the industry and systematically like funnel the capital to other parts of the community? Because like if you look at like Indians, right? They come into Western medicine from with the Eastern mind, but they go ahead, they be a doctor, and then they take that shit and then they invest it into their community with an Eastern mindset. They put on that white coat, they do whatever they need to do, they get the degree, but they don't necessarily like lose the Eastern part of themselves, or they're sending money back home, or putting money into their Indian community or fraternity and shit like that. So when I look at entertainment, it seems like that is the one thing that would be institutionally black in America
Uh,
is entertainment.
I hear what you're saying. If we're talking,
So we can get into the
very right.
Wasn't this like in an episode of Black Mirror once?
Correct. We had a huge discussion about it yesterday, and it's awesome. It's still going on. Yeah, that really frightened me. I was like, what in the world? What is this? That's it. I can't be on Clubhouse anymore. And then other people talked to me from the edge, and that was real good. They did that. So now it's like, oh, I mean, I guess this could be for social experiment. Oh, yeah, I didn't really hear. Yeah, sorry. I am cooking. Vegetables, some ground meat. Oh, nice. Were they good? Are they Guatemala?
Yes, look on Instagram. Guatemalan chef made them.
I will look later.
Yeah, they were very good. She had a press that she got from Peru that makes the shape.
Well, I'm just doing some quick food. I'm gonna put voice isolation because I think it's getting me now. Super hungry. And tomorrow I have to be reminded that I have to eat fish.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I always forget.
Did you have water today though? That's very important too.
What do you mean? Yeah, I always have like 2.5 liters of water every day.
Oh, that's a lot. Where is the voice isolation setting?
Do you have an Apple? Okay, if you swipe down from the upper right corner, you will swipe the controls, right? The control center. So when you do that, right at the top, you should see something orange that says Clubhouse Controls.
1 second. Yep.
Okay, click there. And then you have all the modes like automatic, standard, voice isolation, and wide spectrum. You choose voice isolation, and then it like silences all the noises around
yeah,
you.
it's already set to voice isolation. Okay, great.
Well, then you should get a better voice isolation because we hear it all the time. Well, actually, no, it's just when people talk to you that we hear them.
Yeah, because they're right next to me.
Look at us with our medals. John,
Oh,
did
yeah.
you get a medal?
Who's John?
The universe, we got our friend.
Wait, I'm missing. Wait. My screen doesn't show a John.
Universe, only 5%.
Wait, what are you talking about? Where's the John?
Oh, I don't want to dox anyone, but our friend Universe down there.
Oh, Universe, I think.
Yeah,
I don't see a medal. I am just top 5%.
I'm saying he didn't
medal.
get a medal.
Oh, didn't? Oh, I thought you said he has a medal. I'm like, what?
No, Tam got one. I'm so proud of him.
Yeah, look at us with our medals, universe.
Yes.
You don't get one.
You realize the medals are just a way of a cocaine dealer getting us to buy more cocaine.
It's okay, we like our cocaine.
Maybe if I had some cocaine, I would do something meaningful.
Oh my god, Danny.
Yeah, we're gonna go in.
Is that too much? I mean, back onto the ADHD topic, I mean, just Adderall would be enough.
Somebody called, I don't remember who it was, but somebody called it a Coke for Kitties.
Yes, I was put on that when I was 5 or 7. I don't want to over-exaggerate.
I was on Ritalin at like 8.
Yeah, I was 7.
You see, this is the problem with the U.S. You have probably the most medicated population in the world.
Well, you know, sometimes though it's I mean, it's either that or they have to be held back. You know, it's like sometimes people just need a little help when it
Well,
comes to their
how
chemistry.
how about you guys teach your children just to go out for once and I don't know, like spend less time in devices and
Seriously, I swear, if you babysat this kid, like, there's this video, I'll have to find it, but I'll show you a kid that has, one that you can't really talk to, they're too young to really understand, like, rationalization. Oh my god, like, you'll notice that something is not right behind it. Yeah, if you babysat a kid that's impaired in that way, oh my god, it's beyond challenging. It's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know if Yaakov or Danny were said children, but they turned out okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
No, they didn't.
Hey,
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
that's my way.
This is something that people do. This is something that people say, just like you say, oh, all the babies are beautiful. No, they're not. So people used to say, oh yeah, you turn out okay. No, you
Some of
didn't.
them are ugly. I saw a baby that was so freaking ugly. My mother was like,
No, we can all observe and we can all tell they didn't turn out okay.
I think they did.
Maybe like we just had like autism.
Oh, totally. And I think like a lot of it could be that. Could be
Bam, hey, Bam, how you doing? I met him a couple of months ago. He's cool.
Mandelson?
Bam Franklin.
Some kids could have been misdiagnosed. I was on that because people called me the R word.
I mean, none of us turned out okay. Like, look at us hanging out every day in Clubhouse.
Well, I think that we're finding our way, right? Like, I mean, people call me the R word, but I wasn't. I'm still not. I'm just autistic, and they didn't know what that was. And I didn't know until like 4 years ago. And then I'm like, oh my God, it explains so much. And no, it doesn't really do anything. There's nothing I can do. But understanding for myself is like, oh, that's why. And it's just, it allows me a peace of mind.
I had an interesting experience. I had that plus dyslexia. In 1973, New York State had this curriculum called inventive spelling, which meant you could spell rock, R-O-K. That was fine, because phonetically it sounded like rock. There was no wrong way to spell a word. So to this day, I cannot spell. It messed up my reading, it messed up my writing, they said that I was smart. They wanted to put me in a mental schooling program, like a specialized school district. No way. So, private school. And this is before they understood, this is before dyslexia was even labeled dyslexia. Luckily, I didn't even hear them call me retarded, but she told me all the stories later on.
Right.
They put me in the newspaper.
Oh, what day? I want to look it up.
Here, this is it. I don't know what, I have it somewhere, the hard copy of it. The photographer came and like took my picture.
Famous
What is it,
store's
98?
daughter messed up.
What?
And what was the title?
It's my PTR, Biology of Behavior. I don't know if you could find it.
Hey, that's little Danny?
Yeah, that's me.
Is that the New York Times?
On Newsday.
No, yeah, it doesn't look like their phone.
Newsday.
Yeah. Are they still printing?
Think so. I think they, yeah. But there's like a crazy firewall, so I don't really read their stories too much online, at least.
They used to deliver Newsday papers. They gave me a route that was a tenement. So I would deliver the papers, but they would never pay me, so I essentially subsidized their newspapers. Then I finally...
Why didn't they pay you?
Because they were poor. They didn't have money. They said, I'll pay you next week. I said, okay. And eventually my father said, you can't keep on, like, paying for their papers.
That was a Newsday?
Newsday, yeah. Long Island paper.
Yeah.
There were actually tenements in Roswell.
What is that word you're saying?
Tenements.
Oh, you're talking about like there's like a museum in this, like a tenement museum in this. I've never been to it. Really.
No, tenements are government supplied housing. Poor people's housing.
But it's a specific design, right? That they like have in like New York City, and they were like.
No. New York City has those really tall buildings, like on the FDR highway. They're like 30 stories high. In Roslyn, there were garden apartments, 3 stories high. But there were subsidized housing, Section 8, whatever they call it, for poor people.
Hey, hold on. Everybody, hold on. No, you shut the fuck up.
He's good, Brother Steven. No, I was going to say, in defense of you, Steph, that's not what she said. She didn't say black women out-earn men as if that was a fact. What she said was, what is the issue with black women?
Hello? Sue?
What happened?
What happened to Sue?
The early went down.
Oh, she might have swiped out, yeah. So what I want to say to you, Black, is, oh, here she comes. So what I want to say to you, Black, is, hold on, let me mod you, Sue.
I just did.
You offered that black men are earned, so I just did a quick Google search, and I find it interesting. It said that 8% of black women earn $200,000 or more. Because I said, what percentage of black women earn 100K nationally? It said 8% earn 200%, or 200,000 or more. And then I asked the same question for black men, and it said 6% of black men. I'm sorry, 6% of black adults. It didn't give me the specific data. So would you be able to put your source in the chat?
And I'll post mine.
I appreciate it.
And can y'all put me in the queue? This is Tori.
You can go right now, Tori.
Yeah,
Okay. Hey, y'all. So I just wanted to sort of respond to Black and the point. I think, with everyone else's point, I think what the issue is the constant comparison about, how much, black women make versus black men. I think that, that has become a major issue. Regardless if black men make $500 or $600 more, you would still see that as, you making more than a woman. So why do black women feel like they still don't need you, right? Like, you have the income, you're, according to most of y'all, the data shows that y'all are, doing so well off in life. Why is there still a hesitancy or reservation that black women have on black men, knowing all these things? If, because I'm just wondering, even, go ahead, Nathan.
No, you continue.
I think what it
Yeah, finish your point.
I don't want to keep repeating the question.
Hold it. Let her continue. Are you done?
Yeah, I am done. I didn't want to keep continuing the question.
Okay, now I get, who is it? Nathan that wants to?
Yeah, I think what happened with feminists is the issue, I blame, right? And they came in as saviors, but if you're a feminist, a true feminist, then you would say, hey, black woman, get, I'm going to keep saying it again, forms of reparations compared to what happened to country, to repair you and what happened to you. But since they're not true feminists, they came and manipulated. I remember a talk show, I forgot what talk show it was back in the day, and I remember watching a white feminist woman tell and say, hey, he was actually on the news too. She was like, black women need to start dating white men and leave these black men alone. And she went on and on and on. So that type of rhetoric came from them, and it's still going on to this day, And I think that's a part of it. That's not the complete whole of it, but it's actually not even in the human. It's not even human to say, I don't need the opposite sex, right? That's how crazy it is. We're actually born and designed through millions of years, hundreds of thousands of years, and designed to be together. So when we separate, that's an unhuman thing to do, that not to feel like you should not be with the other opposite sex, right? It is not just for about money, it's for the development of the children, mostly. If you talk to people like my grandparents, way older than me, the most important thing is to protect the children, make sure the children is have a 2-parent household. Because I couldn't even imagine my life without a 2-parent household, what it could be. You know, my brother was very, extremely important. And my mom, my dad, those people and working together are extremely important. And when you don't have that, it's a fracture that happens.
And sorry.
Yeah, and I think that when we have the country and people make financial gains as well as today and decades ago by saying, hey, I'm going to be a single mom, I don't need you, that's disruptive, you know, and very unhuman and unhuman thing to say. We have to make corrections about it. We need each other more than life itself. We need each other more than money, more than anything. I'll let that.
And can I just respond and then I'll mute up? I agree with everything you said, Nathan. Yeah, go ahead, Fleming. I believe, okay. Yeah, I agree with everything that you said, Nathan. I'm not pushing back. I'm just challenging, like, the thought. I did want another challenging question, too. Like, do you think, and then I'm going to just mute up for the rest of it, but do you think that it's Black women not wanting to be with Black men specifically or not wanting to be with men? Because it seems like there's this notion of, like, nowadays I hear, like, oh, well, go get me, you know, a da-da-da, or I'm going to go over here. So I think there's still certain need or want to be with a man, but it's like, well, shit, you ain't acting right, so you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think Black women, like, really believe that they don't need a man, right? They wouldn't, if that's the case, they wouldn't still be having kids with them. They still wouldn't be sexually, romantically involved with them. I think it's one of them things where I need you to get your shit together so I can be with you. Or it's like some sort of rhetoric like that.
Well, you're absolutely right, because Black men, look how white, you know, men have been vilified for centuries in this country. For centuries. We're not looked at as the saviors, we're looked at as the villains through manipulation and the racism. You know, if you go to the museum in Montgomery, Alabama, and I suggest people go there, you would see names upon the thousands on these tombstones. From 90% are from Black men who's been lynched, fighting for his family, fighting to save his wife. The son came out there, both were killed, right? And we fought civil rights. We died. A lot of Black men died. Make it better, not only for Black women, but for white women and everybody, right? So that's what the sacrifice, shout out to M.L. King, shout out to Jesse Jackson, right? All these great men that sacrifice, and the men that we don't even know. You know, that's what Black American men have done for this country. When we fought in wars, both my grandfathers, in World War II, right? We performed and outperformed in sacrifice, but it's not being talked about. If I talk about it, you would think that we're like public enemy number one. It's really a devastating thing what happened, and that it's like this. But I'm just hoping that it changes one day.
Nathan, I just want to supplement what you were saying. So first and foremost, philosophically, I'm an egalitarian. I believe that everybody should opt to have the same rights as God has given you, philosophically. But I also believe that white women, you know, using feminism, have co-opted a lot of the sufferings of Black women. So, for example, Me Too movement. A white woman came out, it was an actress came out and popularized that, but it was a Black woman that started it because she wanted to highlight the sufferings and the sexual assaults of young black girls, of women of color. But for some odd reason, white women have co-opted this. And in addition to that, which is why my fellow colleague, Dr. Angela Davis, I'm surprised that she considers herself as a black feminist, because she considers herself a black feminist because feminism lacked intersectionality, because racism also is part of the oppression. But for some odd reason, white women have convinced black women, well, racism is a problem. But by the way, some of your black men believe in the patriarchy. However, that is true for the small minority, racism systemically still affects black men and black women for hundreds of years. But you will have white women tell black women, no, he's a black man, he's a part of the patriarchy. White Anglo-Saxon Protestants, we don't believe in that. Historically, we don't believe in that because we were oppressed under the system. But white women, unfortunately, who believe in feminism, have convinced black women, well, black men are also the problem as well, even though we are victims of the system. That's the type of shit that, that's it. I mean, that's the thing that pisses me off about when I hear, because when I was in undergrad, I took a philosophy course, I took a women's study course, and I sat there, one of 3 men in that course, and they were just dogging men out. And it was a sister that was in there dogging black men out and saying, black men are this, black men are that. She didn't know me from a can of paint. And it was like, well, how can I be a part of your suffering when I don't even know you? But white women have convinced black women, black men are the problem. That and it's not the older black women, and I'm gonna land right there. It's not that. It's just the fact that these college kids are learning this shit, and now they're coming out and they're saying, well, I'm a divest because black men are just the problem. I mean, for God's sakes, I've been in the hospital profession for over 25 years. White men deal with cocaine, methamphetamine, and all this other stuff, but you want to praise them for that, but these men are beating on their wives daily. But you want to praise them. And so I say all that to say is I just think that a lot of sisters are just being like hoodwinked as far as the talking points that I hear from these extremist feminists, and I'll land with that.
Get here.
I have no idea, but what stresses me out is the fact that nobody wants to answer the topic above. Everybody just want to talk, but nobody want to answer the title.
Well, I'll answer the title.
Appreciate that.
Right. So if you do your research and you see, okay, so there's slavery, and then after slavery, there's black codes, 1865, and then after black codes, here comes Jim Crow, 1896. Right. Now here goes something that you can research. You can look at the Moynihan Report 64. That's him researching previous backwards, right? And he talks about how the black family was destroyed, the black home, how the black woman was incentivized over the black man, how the black man was unemployed. That's 64, okay? Then you go to the Corner Report 67, doubles down on that report. That's 60. This is before black women could even have access to welfare. Black women couldn't get access to, and it's called, and before anybody says, well, oh, you tripping, go read the Men Out the Home Rule. That didn't come about to the 60s. And this is when they said, that's when they put that clause in there saying that the father can't be in the home. You see what I'm saying? Please go read that. Then here comes but then look at all of the housing acts, right? To negate our prosperity. That started in 1835. Then look at the black banks, how FDR's New Deal shut down almost all prosperous black banks. So now where do we get the capital? So a community that is forced to be unbanked is going to have a negative impact on their stationary life. It's going to put a stress on the black home. So you can't sit here and tell me, if I'm looking at principles of causation, that externally the way it's driven in the black home was not successful. You'd be a motherfucking fool. I land.
just got one question. Did you have a disagreement with my submission, man? Because I read in the chat, man. I was curious about that.
We got okay. Externally, you can't ignore the external component. I didn't even talk about the benign neglect policy that was suggested in '70 by Moynihan to Nixon. You gotta look at the legislation passed in the '70s, right after the Civil Rights Movement. So there's actual policies that people can look up and see how we got here. You see what I'm saying? There's been a concerted effort to destroy the prosperity that Black people can amount for themselves. But then when you try to incorporate scholarship, non-well-read niggas want to pontificate when they come off the mic.
Can I jump in?
Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, we all created the system that we're a part of. We could change it yesterday. We're years late doing it. We have the technology now where we don't have to send people to speak for us anymore. That's a fact.
Who is the we and us you're speaking of?
I'm talking about you and me and people in this experiment that we're trying to govern ourselves. You put a color on it. I don't know why you do that. It's rude that you do that, but whatever. But it is a system that we're trying to figure out. And we have the technology now to change it peacefully. And the way we're going to do it peacefully is all of us are going to learn how to do many simple tasks for ourselves. All is sacred, nothing wasted will be our goal. And all of us are going to learn how to do stuff for ourselves to eliminate these corporate entities that are in charge of everything. That's a fact. And we don't need any of them. Once we learn that all is sacred, nothing wasted. That's a fact.
Yeah,
and until we do that collectively, like in this room, it sounds like it's black against white, but there's so many other people involved here.
So why you only say that when you're losing? When you're winning, you don't fucking say that shit.
I'm not losing. Why are you saying I'm losing?
You just said it's inevitable. You just said it's inevitable. All white corporations, they're going to go extinct.
Water, I've listened to you talk. You are
Don't say keep my name out your mouth, even though it's not my government. You did not earn
The
that
longer
respect.
that y'all cut this man off, the longer he is going to run his fucking mouth. Please allow him to get it all off his chest so he can shut the hell up for the remainder of the day. Again, still speaking on a black topic. Hurry up. 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's going to take all of us to get out of this mess. It took all of us to get into it. It's going to take all of us to get out of it. That's all I want to say. And I thank you, TSU, for allowing me to say that last thought. Thank you.
All of who? It didn't take all of us to get here. It didn't take all of us to make sure we made the bottom pass. It didn't take all of us. We have no part, and we don't make the laws in this country. We don't make we don't control the banking system. It didn't take all. It took all of y'all.
Doctor, read the Bible. Would you read the Bible? Who?
I read the Bible. I am a minister. I am a preaching, teaching, tongue talking, tongue quoting, speaking, laying hands minister. Real talk. But what I will tell you is that it didn't take all of us to get here. We didn't do this to ourselves. It was you people that did this. You people need to fix it.
You know what, Doc? I'm going to challenge that with a little bit of some antagonistic
I want to add
direction. Before you do that, I'm going to challenge that with this, right? Think we are the fucking problem. I'm convinced we are the problem. I am that those movements, all these movements that they say that it was white women led and we attached ourselves to it, I am convinced that it was the other way around. What they say to manipulate history is to manipulate consciousness. Ain't that what he said? I think that the history's been manipulated. And I think that we are the ones that truly led those fucking movements, because the more that I keep listening to a Mark and the more that I listen to the lady, the white lady that was on stage, well, what about white history? And Mark, you and I belong together, and they keep attaching themselves to us. I'm almost certain that we are the ones that led them motherfucking movements at this point. I'm convinced.
They were the first slaves.
May I? Can I ask a
So what
question?
if it's really
Do you
a
mind-
black man and
Well, in
the
America.
stuff that's really causing all of our oppression?
Do y'all mind if I ask a question?
I'm just saying.
Can I ask the room a question?
Go ahead,
Hey,
go
can
ahead.
somebody, because I'm trying to keep it to the scholarship. Can somebody please tell me the name of the system that black people created that is comparable to Jim Crow?
Zero.
Mark,
Because
the answer?
what is it called? What is it called?
I'd love the answer.
Okay. What is it called?
Right, neighbor.
What?
Do you have a solution to the problems at hand?
Hold on, man. Look, so I'm fighting through because you're not answering my question. Hey, I'm gonna ask it again. Can somebody please answer unapologetics question without babbling or going in a different direction? What is the name of the system? So Jim Crow, right? What is the name of the system comparable to Jim Crow that black Americans created? Give me the equivalent of black codes that black people created. Give me the equivalent of the Supreme Court ruling called Plessy v. Ferguson that was passed in 1896.
The
When did
street
black people do that?
code. Don't snitch code.
So hold on. Can we have the scholarship, please?
Don't
Niggas in the
snitch
hood.
code.
I got you. That's not a power. That's not a
How does
system.
that help? It is a system.
I got you. I think controller.
Motherfuckers is abiding by that system
I
to
got you.
this motherfucking day. And what is that?
so
And how is that
Tsunami.
helping our? And how is that
I got
helping
you.
our community, hon?
So Tsunami, you just reduced black life in the hood.
I'm just asking. No, I'm asking a
Can
question.
I finish? Can I finish this? I'm not going to entertain your question because you just reduced black people to the hood. So all I'm saying is this, everybody. All the policies I'm talking about encompass all black people, regardless if they're in the hood or not. So I'm going to ask my question again, and I'm looking for scholarship, okay? What is comparable that black people created comparable to Jim Crow? What is comparable to legislation that would be called Black Codes 1865? What is comparable to Plessy v. Ferguson, a Supreme Court ruling in 1896? What is comparable to that, to those things that black people created?
Could I answer?
I think that's
Nothing lawful.
That's not reducing black people down to the hood, because we got motherfucking civilians on that type of time as well. People who ain't never did a motherfucking thing saying that they ain't telling on shit. So that's not reducing people to anything.
So people not snitching when a crime is committed. Hold on. You're reducing to criminality. So there's three things that we typically hear black people reduce to. It's criminality, disenfranchised, and degenerates, right? So that's not a system that we created. So the Housing Act, I could say the Housing Act created the environment for black people, for those black people who live in who are committing some of the crimes in said hood, and those who are degenerates, right? So I'm gonna ask my question again, and I'm looking for, it's hard when you challenge people to come with scholarship.
I think that they answered your question. I'm just
ain't nobody.
They all answered and said none. They all answered and said none on.
I got you, but Tsunami, you're in the way because you're not answering the question.
I'm not in the way. You got your answer. They answered you, and I'm giving
I got
mine.
you. It's just because you're giving an answer don't mean it's a answer.
You ain't gotta like it, but it's cool. No, Mark, we had enough.
If I may, with
Where is
really
the
quick on this dialogue.
Where's the scholarship, beloved? Where's the scholarship at? Because what you're talking about is not answering my question.
Anything else, An?
Well, why don't you answer the question, An? Since we don't have the answer.
It don't exist.
Okay.
There's nothing comparable. There's no law that black people, there's no laws, plural, that black people have passed comparable to black codes. State laws perpetuating Jim Crow. Plessy v. Ferguson is federal, okay? Second but equal. We haven't passed no laws like that. We've never had to do that, okay? Then look at the impact that all of the housing acts created, right? This is the housing acts of 37 is the precursor to gentrification. Gentrification is not revitalization. It's not the same thing, okay? Those housing acts were passed to specifically target black Americans. Lot sizes. The size of lots was passed under the Housing Act of 37 and the Housing Act of 34. That was to keep black people out. Home association fees was created in 1905 to keep black people out of subdivisions in California. We've never passed anything like that to subjugate another group, let alone protect us. So when we have these conversations, what people want to talk about when they talk about black people doing negative things, it's three categories. You're generalizing all black people by the actions of degenerate, disenfranchised, criminality. Some three things that exist in all fucking ethnic groups. I land.
Thank you for that. Any new speakers want to talk? Viv, you haven't said anything lawful. Anybody else that hasn't spoken?
If I may, I just want to say one submission, real black women, qualified black women in government, to see them represented, as 51% of this nation is made up of women. As I think a 1-to-1 ratio is just a no-brainer off rip, and no other country has really done it. If we see them all trying to do it at the same time, we could cut them off and control the narrative of American history for the first time in a very long time, if not ever. So that's what I want to just get at, is that we keep pussyfooting around these institutions, these laws. Everything was set up to protect the pedophile, protect the white pedophile. People, they give me Mark vibes, but that's all I have to say.
I just gotta say one last thing, and I'll dip out. Unapologetic, and I'm speaking to you. You and I been on this app for years, man. And the thing is that when you talk about scholarship, you have to understand, man. And on these stages, man, a lot of people haven't been at the level that you and I are on. You know what I'm saying? And so when you're asking for the scholarship, a lot of people can't articulate dates and times like you do, like myself, and things like that. And unfortunately, this has to do with the education system in America, United States of America, because it's like, I still believe that the education system has failed black people, black families, and, everybody. So when you're asking for the scholarship, man, like it's not gonna happen, man. I'm gonna keep it real with you, man, and I'll end with that.
Thank you for that submission. Would anybody else like to speak to the title of the room? That would be greatly appreciated. Hey, C, how are you? Welcome to the space universe. How y'all doing? Would y'all like to get in there and tackle the topic of the room?
Who destroyed the black family? Question. If I put a gun in front of you, do you have to use it? If I put a thing in your presence, is it a requirement that you use the thing I put in your presence? If it's not, then you bear the responsibility of your actions in using it.
I can answer. I mean, the thing about the title of the room, some of it's not true. The black community is not destroyed. It's been hurt. We've been hurt by these things, but it's not destroyed as of yet. We've taken some losses. We took some bruises, but we're here strong. And this room right here, and many brothers and sisters on this room, is a testimony to say, hey, we're still here. The community is still here. We have multiple cities throughout this nation, so we're going to keep on fighting and get the shit right, but it's not destroyed yet.
Can I challenge you on something, what you just said? So if we look at what makes a black family, right? And I know this is not the structure for everyone, but black father, black mother, and those that have them black baby, right? Would you say that unit exists in mass? Would you say that is the structure of a black household in mass?
Isn't that the structure of reproduction?
Well, we're not talking about reproduction right now, though. We're talking about a black family, and that was the question, right? The family. So if the family, we're talking about, let's just start on the nucleus family, right? So would you say that if you polled, nationally, how many black households look like that? Would you say that's the majority or the minority? And I don't know if I'm in the matrix. I'm driving.
No, we hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, I can speak to that. I mean, right now, I think there's a lot of projection that goes on. Like, I grew up in a 2-parent household. I've been married
But I don't romanticize a time in which marriage was the thing. And I promote marriage. But the fact of the matter is, domestically and globally, marriage rates are down. There are even countries where it's at least 12 countries or more, first world countries that are worse than America. So people are cohabitating more, and we don't have really good stats on that. So in terms of people growing up in a two-parent household, the marriage rates don't equal fatherlessness families. So yeah, when we view the state of Black America, I think a lot of people are myopic and pessimistic, but the majority of Black families have two parents. And even if we go by the stats, and I'll go ahead and post one in the PTR, I think it's 45% of children grow up in a single parent household, Black children. But that doesn't account for, again, cohabitation. So yeah, there's that.
So then,
Could it get better? Absolutely.
With all that you just said, you would say then it's the minority.
No, it's the majority. The majority of Black kids grow up with two parents.
Yeah, I'd like you to post that stat. Thank you.
I want to welcome King Mom to the stage. It's popcorn style, guys. So whoever wants to take it, I see Daryl's on the stage too. So whoever wants to take it, let's go ahead.
I have maybe that's an ideological summation. If a person wins, who's responsible for the win? If a person loses, who's responsible for the loss? Is it all of the external factors, or is it the person?
It's everybody. It's a collective. It's a collective responsibility.
Well, the reason I asked the question is because they said, who destroyed the Black family? Well, if we take that and put it in each individual family unit, like you said, the father, the son, and the child, or the mother, the father, and the child, if we take it and put it into that criteria, then the destruction of that family is going to be based on those two individuals who refuse to adapt their behavior in order to keep that family strong. Is it not?
I agree, Lawful.
I agree, for sure.
I agree.
And Lawful,
the collective is responsible.
Water, I'm passing it right to you. Lawful, you touched on something that I've been waiting for, and that's individualism. But go ahead, Water.
No, that was all I had to say. Lawful's correct. It's up to the family collective. Yep. And you're right too, Steph.
Well, all too often we use this gray area crap in our society to shift the blame or move the goalposts, take the responsibility off of the people who are actually responsible for the actions they take. It's easy to blame society. It's easy to blame the education system. It's easy to blame the government. But if those are the true cause of the problem, how do you have any families that are still functioning in that manner? That means those people made different choices than the other ones. So it has to come down to the individual.
Has had no impact on the Black home.
I think feminism destroyed it.
It does have impact. No, you're correct, it does have.
But that would be the external, correct?
That's the external. The problem is the external does not determine the method of the internal. It don't determine the output. It adds quality. It adds a stimuli, but it does not determine the output. How a person handles that input can be completely different. That's why we have some families that are destroyed and then some families that are still together.
Right. So the external dictates the paradigm shifts that have an impact on the internal, right? So I acknowledge your point where people who want to remain with the inner, that would be the internal issue. But the external, I don't think a lot of people have the range to talk about the cause to the effect that they talk about. It's called principles of causation.
Oh, I agree completely.
This is where you
know what? And that's literally why I say it has to be on the individual responsibility, because the causality chains are controlled by the action of the person. The thought may not be yours, but you do choose the set of actions. So that cascading effect is directly in line with the person and the action that they choose to take or not.
I'm not even talking about epigenetics. I'm talking about the paradigm shifts. That the policies, I mean, there's documents. Okay, most of y'all talking points today in 2026 were said in 64, in 67. And in the intent of the benign and neglect policy of the 70s, he literally highlights the objective of the benign neglect policies, which are a lot of black people's talking points today.
I heard somebody say feminism is to blame. Do y'all agree?
Yeah, I think feminism. I blame money before feminism. You want to blame a mystical cloud in the sky? Blame money. You know,
let King respond.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I heard a brother talking. Shout out to you, brother. Your phone kind of messed up just a little bit. Yeah, feminism, I think it ruined the black community because black women never had an opportunity to relax. Always working. I'm talking about from the field back to after slavery was over, black women got tricked by the white feminist movement to join them for numbers. The black man never had an opportunity to really take care of the black woman. So how the hell she managing a family, she working her ass off, doing all this stuff? She never had an opportunity. You know, so for me, I think that ruins her. Because sisters ain't never been able to just take a load off. They probably working right now. God, jobs work you to the bone. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think sisters have done their best. But I believe that work and this slave culture, it just does something to the family, man. Sisters ain't never been able to just be dedicated to the family. Shout out to my mom, shout out to my grandma, aunties, sisters, everybody, you know, who do their best. But I think black women deserve an opportunity to rest and relax, to be honest with you.
Great submission, brother.
Yeah, I agree.
Those are the policies that targeted the black community.
So is it fair to say Epstein is
So what King just spoke to, right, above that, so what he just spoke to would be the effect. The cause would be the policies that I'm trying to interject in this conversation.
How do the black women feel about King's submission? Do you think he's spot on with that? Tsunami with the eyes. So don't do me like that. I'm 50-50 on that.
Man,
50.
Man, where the hell is Fleming at, man?
What did he say?
Where in the hell is Fleming at? He luckily had a phone call, man. I would have caught out that bullshit that he was talking about.
Sean, would you like to answer the topic of the room, sir?
Who and what destroyed the black community? You listen to fucking Jews too much. Jews, white women, and liberals. You should have built your own shit up. The fuck? How the fuck you gonna listen to a white woman that's gonna say, white people are the problem? Bitch, why the fuck you got a microphone if you the damn problem? Like, why do we don't call that shit out? Like, the niggas that like Touré, where Touré saying that, yeah, Miss liberal white man and white women, you have the right to say nigger. I'll give you all permission, but she is a fucking foreigner. Once again, boy, what? Motherfucker be allowing anybody to talk, it seems. Like, what in the entire hell? If the right winger can't say nigga, the left winger can't say nigga neither. Damn it. We listen to too many white women. And the ones that don't listen to white women, they are the smartest black people in the country. I don't care how many fucking degrees that you got. If you listen to damn white liberal white women telling you, mind you, about to put you in the line of fire where you could get all the brunt back, where they could just localize as being white, where they push you in the forefront and they could just go back in the weeds, like the Homer Simpson meme of them going back in the weeds, where you take all the heat, you take all the pushback, and you got to deal with all the repercussions and the tribulations. Like I said, man, that's why I wanted to bang on Fleming, because Fleming listened to these white liberals to all be damned. The motherfucker live here in LA. That's why I was about to get on Fleming's ass, but respectfully, What destroyed it? You're listening to white people. What about the black man like Un? Me and Un, we have our differences, but at least Un will at least set you straight on how to set up your own fucking estate planning. Keep trying to tell y'all. But see, Un get pushed back because see he ain't a white Jew. See, they would love it if Un was white, where Un was shaping the community. Look at Un. Look at Un. He's one of the good ones. He's one of the good white men.
Brother, you're right. You're right.
Charlie would love it if he dated white women.
Me and Un have straight had issues based off of me tripping, me being emotional. I can take Un under the chin, but I still appreciate the man's information. So nonetheless, Un has most of the damn solutions to most of your problems. Work on both sides of the damn ledger. And you keep trying to teach motherfuckers how to do that shit. I don't know if Un is still in the room, but hopefully he does hear that I do appreciate the brother and respect the brother Un. You know, flowers. You know, that's me giving a black man his damn props.
Y'all don't be listening to when he get that game because he starts with ethno aggregation before he gets to all that other shit. You niggas don't want to go back and fuck with niggas.
He started with get out the way.
Shit, I have no problem. I'm working with black folks.
I appreciate the flowers, fam. Hey, I got a question. Tamika Mallory, during President Trump's first presidency, she was giving an interview while sitting in the car. And at the end of her interview, and this is a question to the black women in this room, or anybody, but the black women specifically. She said at the end of her interview, she said America is more sexist than it is racist. What is your opinions on that?
That's a deep question.
I actually agree.
I think I agree too. I ain't gonna lie.
Of course, all the women would agree with
y'all.
Well, who was it? The Sojourner Truth said that, to quote her, women are the Negroes of the human race.
Wake it up.
That's what she said. She was a feminist too. But yeah, I don't know.
But Sojourner Truth was more real than Tamika Mallory. She got paid, once you got paid by a Cadillac and got that bag, she forgot all about niggas.
But they were echoing the same thing.
Right, but Sojourner Truth in 1848, she gave a speech advocating for her gender while her race was still enslaved. And respectfully, y'all heard what the women just said. This is why I say that the political landscape, black women have been anti-black longer than any other subgroup of black people. Okay.
I think that became when it became about gender instead of race. Like, I think that's when it started. When it became about women being women, that's when it was like, oh, well, now it's not even about me being black no more. It's about me having a vagina. Damn, now I'm double striked out.
Like I said earlier, Tish, you listen to that white bitch. You still listen to that white bitch.
Who? What I want?
Niggas listen to that white bitch.
When black men got the right to vote, white women were enraged, right? And they went to the courts, and the white man said, like, why you mad? What you mad about? Because you inherited everything that we have, right? Like, people forget, there was like white slave owners. When her husband or father passed away, she inherited the land and the slaves. Then when she was married, majority of that time period, they marry older men, and when he kicked the bucket, she inherited his slaves, and she built. I mean, this is crazy. Like, white women inherit all the white wealth in this country. You know, still to this day, and people missed it when I asked Lo that question about black reparations, and she's a teacher. She said, no. Come on, guys. Yeah, it's the truth. So, and that just shows you how much they're against you, because it's not shit, brother. I mean, if we're talking about the black nuclei in a black family, right, in the future, and not talk about wealth and how much finances impact the community.
Well, why does
the number one reason? Are they talking at the same time? It's the number one reason for divorce. in this country.
Speaking of divorce, well, why do the white man and the black woman divorce rate is at the lowest out of all? They seem to get together and get along quite well.
Because she adopts a bed wench mentality when she's with a white man.
Yeah. So that's obvious. So let me keep going with this subject matter, right? How many?
Damn, boy, we calling motherfuckers winches. I just think the
Let me
black women
say
should
this.
stop
Let me
listening
say
to
this.
white
I'm
women.
gonna
That's
land.
all.
I promise you I'm gonna
That's the only thing I'm saying. Like the black women.
Can we let
is the
Nathan
damn
land
blueprint.
on, please?
My apologies.
Hey, Sean, could you mute your mic, Sean? You cutting this man off. Let the man land his cut.
My apologies.
Okay, please. Thank you. Hey, Nathan, could you make your submission? Could you kind of streamline it a little bit? You've been talking for a while.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up in 20 seconds, brother. I guess I talked too long, but anyway, wrap it up in 20 seconds is this. When you do the math, and ask AI to do it, and you ask, when somebody, what are you talking about this fucking reparation? Ask AI to help you to find these solutions, right? Look at the poverty rate. I never see a millionaire kid, somebody that parents were millionaires, they're not out here robbing and stealing cars and shit like that, and robbing a gas station, doing all these little petty crimes. Do the math, and you will see the solution to what we need. That's all.
Man, you niggas are not asking for reparations for land. Y'all not asking for the crack epidemic. Y'all not asking for redlining. Y'all asking for reparations for fucking slavery. Move on. Advance your reparations.
To the 80s or something.
Yeah.
To the 80s, we can make a stronger case for the 80s.
You go back to Jim Crow. You go from now backwards. You don't never start from in the beginning. You start from most recent events, and there's something called taxation without being represented. What Boone was talking about. We're being You don't want to talk about it. You don't want to talk about it. Let's talk about it. I'm not your niggas, and you niggas are nothing, bro. You grown men here.
Calm down, gentlemen.
One mic. Yeah, hold on, but Nathan is holding. Reparation, you can start your own room, you can start a reparation room. Obviously, that's not what we're talking about in this room. We're talking about the destruction of the black family. Unless you can tie reparation into that, then we need to move on. Now, we got some other people on the stage. Tisha's here, King, and Black.
Hey.
C, Universe. Chime in. I like to hear, a different perspective. I guess
I'll
so,
back in there because go ahead, Tish.
Honestly, thank you. Hey, everybody. I think, honestly, I ain't thinking about nobody else on the fact of who. And I ain't even thinking of anything else as far as what. If I'm thinking about who, I'm looking at myself. And I'm thinking about what? Thinking about the black community, right? I'm not, if anything, I feel like it's us that destroyed, right? What was, I guess, in place going towards a goal, and we kind of shifted. Maybe we started being individualistic, which of course I see it. It's 2026. That's just how most of us live, right? So I don't know. I think the mission has been lost. The mission has been, what's the key word y'all say on Call of Duty? The mission has been aborted, all type of stuff. I think that's what happened. We forgot about the mission that our ancestors put in place, the goals that they had. We had our own goals, and we found them in between ourselves and without even thinking about the community as a whole, right? Because if we were thinking about community, you're going to take certain sacrifices from yourself that you would want to do or who you would want to be, right? Just to, I guess, fulfill the black community. And then again, it's like, and the caveat with that is like, well, dang, why do I got to take from myself? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just hard. But I do think it's us that, destroyed the black family. I ain't even going to put it on the past. I think it's just us. Because we can make a change, but we just choose not to.
Trish is right.
Can I give a submission? Because I haven't gave a submission since this morning when we opened the room.
Well, Trish, I want to give you your flowers. You are definitely right. We definitely have aborted mission.
Are you the florist, motherfucker?
We have definitely aborted the mission. I can't give the sister no props. Damn.
Yes,
I guess it'd have been more. I got
You're just trying to give us submission.
What's
You're
that?
just trying to give us submission. Go ahead, good.
So again, we were married. We were married at an 85% clip prior to integration. Integration is the fucking problem. And now we get married to white people and all the others with no problem, and we have fun doing it. Now we are married at a 32% clip, which again is an increase over the last 10 years. But the reason y'all don't have black families is because y'all integrated with white people. I laugh.
Okay, I think somebody else that they were next was a nerd.
Oh, come on, man. I didn't get it finished to give Tish her props.
No,
get a room.
That was
Tish. I don't even like Tish, but Tish is right. Tish right.
You ain't saying my name right.
I don't even like Tish, but she's right. We have aborted mission. Nothing.
Nah, don't even fall into it. Hey, Sean, you did well in the damn room. Come on, put it back on.
Let me finish.
Hit Tish in her back channel. Jump in her DM.
Can I talk about the This is hilarious.
She's an asshole, but her name is Trish.
Yes, thank you.
Miss Trish.
Sean, can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Make a statement / question to you.
Yes, ma'am.
So you probably thought I was trolling, or others thought I was trolling when I said that Dr. Amos Wilson said to manipulate history is to manipulate consciousness, right? And all this time they had us thinking that it was white-led, a white women-led feminism, right? The feminist movement, and black women attached themselves to it. But then I just heard unmentioned and kind of refresh my memory about the Sojourner Truths, Ain't I a Woman, 1851, right? Advocating for her gender over the needs of the race, right? While they were still in bondage, right? And then I heard you come off the mic and say, listening, quote unquote, listening to those white women, listening to those white liberals, right? So, even though I was trolling, can we start to see how that might not actually, we just put a little closer lens on it, because it don't add up, right?
Well,
it don't add up.
Part into it. Like I said, weak men in feminist movements lead to problems and chaos. So I'm not saying that the black man didn't fuck up situations. He aborted the mission just like how the black woman aborted the mission. Like, you got motherfuckers fighting now for illegal rights. Like, we completely aborted the mission. We're just caping for shit that will just annihilate us from 15 to 10. More like maybe 5 years.
That's 5 years.
5 years. Like, we caping for illegals now. So what Trish said about we aborted mission, yeah, the motherfucker that's under 40 is just as liberal as all outdoors. Baby boomers is, they too busy, traveling, going on the cruises and shit, Tom Joyner cruises, so they don't have people fuck either. Then you got the working class motherfucker that's not too old, not old enough to damn retire, and not young enough to really to be in the game. They're trying to figure this shit out. Where everybody got their own internal problems and ain't nobody coming to collective to be able to say, hey man, how much money do you need? You need housing, you need food, you need a job, you need some business. Like, when it comes to situations, that can be reversed easily. And I'm done.
But it don't matter. I love to talk about how things can be reversed. When you start the process, it's easy to go out and find someone in need, Sean, and say, you need some money, because you always talk about how you're doing pretty well for yourself. You need food.
Not for myself, just for the community in general.
Right.
I give out a lot of people.
Somebody got to start it. It's got to start somewhere.
Of course.
You start it, and others will follow. It can't just, everybody can't jump in and you got to be the example, because you know the solution. Get into the solution and stop talking about the problem. That part, with that, I land my plane.
I agree. And that's why I give solutions every time that I do talk. Because my biggest solution is that staffing agency.
Talk is cheap.
But I actually do. I don't try to personalize it. I just want to be able to at least be able to mention what is the solution. And it's that damn staffing agency, creating your own hospitals or your own doulas, and actually try to do shit internally. Stop asking white people for fucking help Cause that damn Officer Finley motherfucker that came in this bitch, he mentioned about how he created my apologies. My apologies, Officer Finley.
Y'all live in white neighborhoods. How you not gonna ask white people for help?
I don't ask white people for help. I don't ask not one white person for fucking help. I independently run my own shit. Most of my clients is black anyway.
I really don't
about
care
95% of my clients
I really
is
don't
black.
care about your what you do, but majority of you live in white neighborhoods, so you're going to have to go ask white people to do some shit before you even leave your neighborhood.
Most black people either live in the inner city or live in rural areas.
We're talking about you niggas.
The majority.
Got the solutions for the black people. Y'all don't live in black neighborhoods.
What happened to networking? We just asking now? What happened to networking?
Thank you.
Like bringing shit to the table.
Thank you.
What happened to that?
Y'all should go network
we don't
with
really
black
like
people
each
in the
other
black
to do that,
neighborhoods that y'all say y'all solving the problem.
Niggas don't like black people like that to give the information like that.
We network with our own people. Like
you don't like black people.
Asking motherfuckers like, if anything, we asking. You know, most of us gonna be like, oh, what you need it for? No,
y'all been asking white people
table.
for 60 years. Y'all been asking white people for access and equality for
60 years and ain't got shit.
Well,
I agree with good on that one. I agree with good on that one.
Well, you are definitely not to blame. It'll be your grandparents.
Well, you know what you just showed me though, neighborhood? You showed me what the issue is in the black community and what actually destroyed us. I really think it's the defeatist mindset. The mindset of us today, this can't mindset, I think that's what it is. Every single time somebody offers the solution to the problem, here come an ignorant nigga off the mic or an ignorant woman off the mic. We can't do that. No, that's not gonna work because of this, that, and the third. And we did this before, and it's just not gonna work. I really think that it is the defeatist mindset. Can't, won't do, not gonna do, I don't have to do, I don't need to do, and what have you done for me lately, motherfuckers? Yeah, y'all are the problems. Y'all destroyed the community single-handedly with the defeatist mindset, as opposed to, nigga, we did do this before, and now we're gonna take a look at this blueprint, see where they fucked up, and shake this bitch up a little bit different so we can get the shaking and the moving over here. Okay? Y'all don't have that mindset. As a community, as a collective, it is the mindset that destroyed y'all.
So that's what I said earlier. It's our ideology. It always comes back when we have these discussions with our people. It always comes back to we got to blame slavery. We got to blame Reagan and the food stamp program because allegedly the white man made the black man leave the house through the black woman. It always comes down to we blaming the white man for this or the black woman for that. And like you just said, anytime one of our intellectuals offers a solution, here comes a low-level nigga to push back and say we can't do this, that, and the other because of slavery, white man, black woman, Jim Crow, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not directing I'm not directing that to anybody in the room. I'm just speaking overall to answer Sue's point. Because this happens in every discussion that black people have about what went wrong, how to move forward. Here comes somebody saying it's the white man's fault, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying that we can't attribute a lot of our modern day struggles to what happened in yesteryears, civil rights and before, but Sue's right. There's always that one person who's like, we can't do this, we can't make progress because of what happened 400 years ago.
When motherfuckers make
the black man and the black woman
Let's talk about what's going on
integrated you guys.
We ain't got to go back 400 years. We can talk about how black people are being pushed out of housing by immigrants here in Minnesota and across the nation. We can talk about how jobs for black people are being taken back. Go ahead, neighborhood.
God damn, nobody can talk to me around.
But that's our fault too, doctor. Because black liberals said let the immigrants in.
Yep, they're fighting
our immigrants pushing black people out of housing.
Guys have to start with integration.
That's just not true.
Hold on. You asked the question.
For some reason,
Yes, I can give my testimony.
Everybody. I'm trying to answer the man.
When a man talks, could you please mute your mic?
Hey, this is a problem.
Hold
Kitover didn't even finish.
Y'all didn't even let with tsunami and not even say breathe a little bit before everybody just jumped right back in and they gave y'all the answer. I've been listening for hours just sitting back, but they gave y'all the answer. I ain't even give my submission yet. Y'all ain't let that shit breathe.
But they can't have dead air and let breathe. They got to keep the conversation going. I can't.
Well, brother actually answer his question?
Can go in, but they gave y'all the answer. I just wanted to point it out. But go ahead.
Right, but people. So I don't know who it was who just the most recent question.
That was Officer Finley.
Okay, it's the policies. I'm gonna leave that right there. Now,
why do you call me Officer Finley?
I got you, remember. I don't want. Let's not argue, man.
Shit.
Stop. Let's not argue, man. Let's have a serious, substantive conversation. That's what this room, this house is prided on. Okay, let's have a scholarship conversation. So, how they've attacked us is how they've always attacked us and how they always will, right? So, whatever solution y'all come off the mic with, you have to counter eminent domain. You have to. We've lost one of the main reasons why we've lost 19 million acres of land since the Southern Homestead Act of 1866. They either corporations or the government, local government, use eminent domain. That's before the house backs. You see what I'm saying? So whatever solution so one of the solutions to counter eminent domain, which gives us eminent domain power and protections, would be getting our own jurisdiction, which would be unincorporated land under home rule, right? And before anybody sitting there and say, well, that's not a viable solution, blah, blah, blah. Right? The white side of town in Louisiana 2 years ago did the very thing that I'm talking about. 14,000 white people outvoted 600,000 and voted to unincorporate the land, and then they incorporated the land. And they took over, they now control the politics and the economics legislatively. And this is not just some shit I'm just talking about. This is some shit I'm actually doing. So when people, I forgot the sister who just spoke, people who do try to come with a solution usually get countered with people who don't have a solution.
Fact.
Also, I think there are going to be multiple solutions to this. There's not just one solution, but in terms of destroy the black family, that shit is myopic again. That shit isn't factually true. Even when somebody is like, okay, how are we destroyed? They making shit up, false stats and everything. Now, do we have some improvement to work on? Absolutely, for sure. But it's not destroyed, and we're not defeated.
Do you know your father?
Hold on, y'all. Let me say this. Who said that? Do you know your father?
Black side of the house.
No one addressed it.
Absolutely know my father. And matter of fact, most black children, and I already posted this, like, even in current day, the majority of black kids are not raised by single mothers. And further than that, there are not any really good stats on cohabitation. Y'all motherfuckers using this marriage stat to suggest we follow the fatherlessness scenario, but the shit is just not true.
But the birth
You all be cohabitating?
That's a real issue, the birth rates.
Well, the birth rate.
I get what you're saying, Black. I do. Actually, I do get what you're saying. And it's not. We don't measure the co-parenting. You're right. But is that a broken family? Because more than likely that co-parenting, they in two separate households.
Right.
So that's a split of finances. So that's a break in the family. But I get you because the family is still together. That black man is still taking care of his black kids.
What I said was cohabitation. You said co-parenting. I said cohabitation. I said two parents living together, but it still counts as a single mother. That is my whole point to you.
Actually, the new data don't count that as single mother anymore.
Well, I'm with you with that too. I ain't mad at that.
They've adjusted the data on that. They don't count that as single parenting anymore. But I wanted to go back to my other point. Someone said that immigrants have pushed us out of housing, and I'm saying that is not true. In fact, home ownership amongst us has risen in the last 10 to 15 years.
but on the lower.
We're talking about public housing, sir.
Yeah,
we're talking about public housing.
They've not pushed blacks out of public housing either. We don't.
You're in the matrix.
You're in the matrix,
family.
Doctor, are you there?
Well, a quarter of the population is immigrants present day. I forgot the fucking year. I think he said 1865. It was just black and white. 95%, 98%, I believe. But now it's 74% black and white and 25% immigrant. So they didn't cause a problem.
They don't want to share.
Immigrants have not pushed us out of housing nor public housing.
Bro, they pushed us out of everything overall by becoming 25% of the fucking population. You can't say they didn't squeeze out nothing. They did, bro.
Immigrants are not 25% of the population.
In Los Angeles, I'll give you a stat right here. In Los Angeles, the black community was at 30 to 35% range. Now we're at 8%. But we make close to half of the populace that's homeless on Skid Row. The Hispanic community is a larger base, but they were able to get down payment assistance, housing assistance, and the people that are running local and city, like Brother Un says, they're giving them policies where they can be able to get the same housing benefits and get top prioritization in their districts and zones where they're funded, while black areas internally are underfunded, overtaxed, displaced. Then you have a population that they're allowing to come in, be able to take over those houses based on the vouchers of the HUD, Section 8, and many of the different programs that they allow for the undocumented here in Los Angeles. Now, Los Angeles is a small case study, but there are aspects of when you have a large Hispanic population that have access to the managers as scenarios, the contracting officers, they will discriminate on black people.
And you name one city.
Miami, Florida. We can mention Miami, Florida. We can mention Tampa. We can mention states.
It's not one city.
This is my point of contention.
You're stopping the conversation at one city. It's not one city.
Let me respond though. If I can get a complete thought, you understand what I'm saying. I'm not trolling.
You don't have no facts.
No,
I'm not
Mr. Finley. It's not one city.
So I don't.
Let me my location.
I get my thought out. You understand what I'm saying? You named one city out of many. Number one.
You can't get your thought out because he gave an example, and now you can't beat down his fucking example that he gave. He gave you an example. No, you can't. He gave you a simple example. You can't beat down his example.
I can't beat down his example.
You gonna say he gave you one city? Yes, he gave you one city because that was his example.
And that's
And my response to that, it's short. It's a short-sighted example. Number one, it's one city out of many. Number one. Number two, public housing. Number two, public housing is mostly a federal program, right? Number three, most states are red, and they're not doing what he's saying that they're doing.
I said a population. I said a population of Hispanic communities. Hispanics are contracting managers. It doesn't matter.
And you're making the assumption that all these people are illegal, right?
No, we said immigrants. He said we started with immigrants. This is why I'm trying to say.
Also, someone incorrectly said that.
I'm trying to say it right. I'm trying to say it right for you.
I don't need to be saved, fam.
You got to make yourself look bad, man.
I'm not gonna make myself look bad. I'm capable of formulating my own arguments. I'm capable of defending my own thought. Right? Respectfully. Right? Someone incorrectly said 25% of the American population is immigrant. That's just not true. Someone also said that blacks have been pushed out of housing. Right? Then they said it's not housing, it's public housing. We're not even the majority population. We're not pushed out of housing because our homeownership rates have risen in the past 50 years. In the last 15 years. We're not being pushed out of public housing either because we're not even the majority of the population in public housing. Right?
It's affordable housing that we're talking about.
We're not being pushed out of affordable housing either.
But guess what though? It becomes a cluster.
That whole narrative is false.
But this the thing. It becomes a clusterfuck when you put minorities in the same neighborhoods as black folks that's still in the same competition for that same affordable housing. So then it goes down to there's not enough housing, period. Right, and then on and then on top of that, it's the market forces, like, you know, and it's not saying there's policies that's actually stating that they're replacing one group or the other, but we can't just say, oh, well, you know, there's enough housing. No, because in some of these neighborhoods, it's a clusterfuck, and there's people, black people are like not even arguing, but competing with Mexicans and, you know, Somalians for the same housing costs. It's crazy.
Historically, black areas is now Hispanic. Like, how can we not see that? Do we be even around?
Like here in Minnesota, Southside used to be black, a whole black neighborhood. Like now we pushed over north. Like, you know, it's just the housing costs. Like, and they over north too. Like, it's just.
And the housing cost is done when you have a population boom. Like, how do we don't understand when you have a surge of population boom? Housing is the first to be able to get zapped because now you're competing.
Why is there a housing shortage in America?
Like Southside,
because of one. Let me answer that.
Riverside with
let me answer that.
Bro, it's
because of stringent zoning policies. When you have cities like Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego, New York City, Boston, and areas that have centralized, tough permitting laws, you can't bring in the supply to lower the price. Then you also have situations of both higher income earners, the billionaires that's in San Francisco and New York, they make housing go higher because they can be able to buy at higher premiums than anybody that's in the middle class. Hell, people shift.
Hold on, stop. I didn't mean to cut you off, Sean, but it's also part of America's international policy. The reason why I was trying to inject, right, in a diplomatic way, he asked for examples, plural. One person gave an example. He cut Sean off. Then other people try to give examples to answer his question. Then he wants to cut them off. That's what I was trying to fight through. Now, the reason why I'm trying to explain so we don't dissolve into arguments, right? It's a part of America's international policy also. Why am I saying it, right? The largest population of Bosnians in America located in St. Louis, Missouri, which hosts an estimated 50,000 to over 60,000 Bosnian Americans. This community is considered the largest concentration of Bosnians outside of Bosnia in Herzegovina, with a significant presence in Bivo Mil neighborhood, often called Little Bosnia. Other cities with high concentration of Bosnians in the U.S. are Chicago, Atlanta, Georgia, Ithaca, New York, Phoenix, Arizona, Detroit, Michigan, Jacksonville, Florida, Salt Lake City, Utah. The community in St. Louis grew primarily due to refugee resettlement during and after the Bosnian War, 1992, 1995. Same thing can be said about Minnesota and Somalia. Same fucking thing across America. It's a part of America's international policy, and it's called hyper selectivity.
Right. And to finish my point, that just leads to the same. God damn it, boy. Let me finish my point. Because what unmentioned was the same. Like I said, when it comes to what Un was saying, is the same mention that I put on the table of when you have immigrant groups being prioritized, they get first dibs on the housing. You saw when it came to New York's, hell, we don't even have to go 4 years. We could go 20 years when Ronald Reagan opened up the borders and his senile demented ass in 81, 83, and 86 gave literally 2 to 3 million South American anti-black Hispanics to come across the motherfucking border and come across in the areas of both Miami, Florida. The Cubanitos, them sons of bitches was getting first priority on down payment assistance, housing, and they was able to get established on the business firms when it came to loans with the SBA programs. Like, how do we not, at least, we're supposed to be a statistic person and don't see when you give other groups the priority to do business without any kind of predatory lending when it comes to zip code discrimination. Because mind you, they will literally discriminate based on zip code. You could have a 720 FICO score and still get denied.
So Sean,
that's why as a solution I present on the table is to have a business address in a sweet location that's in a well-to-do neighborhood. If you're in the Bronx, choose Manhattan. If you're in situations of Miami, Florida, don't choose Overton. You can be able to use downtown Brickell. So when it comes to that situation, immigration has affected the community, and I'm mad that we don't see that. Where areas that used to be black, you keep driving up in that bitch, you got nothing but anti-black Hispanics looking at you crazy. and this is your neighborhood. How the hell you gonna have the right to be able to shit on me when, motherfucker, if it wasn't for the plight, you wouldn't even be here. So, like I said, man, you don't have to agree on it. You can say I'm wrong, Brother Finley. I get it. I guess black people are trained to not see how immigration has affected the damn Negro for the past 150 years since the damn Irish mix and the Italian fucking coolies is literally getting all the access to being police officers like you are, getting access to being firefighters and all these people that are getting involved in business. I don't see how we see that, and it's crazy how most people would actually agree that immigration was a problem if white liberal told you it was. But now the white liberal, he got to be able to win elections, so he'll flood the gates again. When Gavin Newsom, if he is president, he'll flood the zone probably 25 million more motherfuckers. And black people be ready to vote for him, saying, well, at least he ain't Trump, at least he ain't no Republican, we need some fresh blood up in there. Okay, cool. If he can't run California, what makes you think he can run the damn nation? And I'm not even saying to go Republican. Go fucking independent for goddamn change. Like I said, man, I don't see how we can be able to see that. And I'm done.
My point of contention is this housing argument. And I totally disagree that immigrants are the problem. They're not the problem, right? This is what we've been told is a problem because oligarchs coordinate the message, and so they're the ones that are telling us the message. So yeah, exactly. They are benefiting from illegal immigration, right? And they're also the ones benefiting from the fact that we have not passed anything comprehensive, like, I don't know, in about 100 years, right? But I want to push back this housing argument, right? Because all the policies that you talked about with respect to restrictive housing zoning issues in certain places like California, right? New York, right? Those existed pre-2007. When did we get a housing shortage issue? Post the housing crash of 2006. What happened was, because we had a ton of inventory during that time, what happened was once the market crashed, construction ceased. A lot of people got out of that industry, and we've not been able to keep up since then.
Yeah, permitting was down for 10 years. I agree.
Right, because people aren't getting back into building houses. Nobody wants to go into that industry because it was so freaking volatile. Right? That is why we have a housing shortage. Because all those policies that you name existed prior to that. Right? After the 2007 housing crash, rich people, right, investment banks, people like BlackRock, they started buying up all the inventory because there's not really a shortage. There isn't. There's some like 20 million houses that are unoccupied. I could be wrong about that number, but there's a huge number of houses that are unoccupied.
6 million homes short.
There's a bunch of houses that are Google the number of houses that are unoccupied right now. There's no shortage. They're just owned by people that are sitting on them, right? And we're not building houses because of the 2006 market crash. This was not created by immigrants. This was created by.
It's a combination of the two.
The immigrants have nothing to do with this because when Reagan granted amnesty to 3 million immigrants, we didn't have a housing shortage then.
That was a problem for that. That led to Black LA's population being polluted. That led to Black LA's population being polluted because he prioritized those people over Black people. He literally got on record. And said, "I'll
land my point here.
Go ahead.
Land my point here.
Go ahead.
This is a false narrative, right? Because immigrants are not the problem. They never were the problem, right? Just like now we're complaining about immigrants taking public housing and government funding for public assistance and jobs. Like, they're not taking jobs, right? Like, before this current narrative about immigrants and public assistance, you know who was the problem? It was black people. Remember that? Black people were the ones using all the food stamps and taking all the public housing. And a burden on the government, and a burden on the government dying. But no, we've simply replaced them with the new argument that it's now the immigrants because that's what we do. That's what the oligarchs. That's what the wealth and the elites want.
Can I say this really quick?
I didn't get to land my point. I can't even land my point.
All right.
All we're doing is we're just recycling the same old argument. We've had this same argument since the freaking 20s. This same freaking argument. We've just replaced the person. And right now, black people, I cannot believe black people of all people are jumping on this dumb argument. It's a dumb argument.
That's because it affects black people the most.
Immigrants aren't the problem. They're not stealing jobs. I live in Florida. Ain't no black people lining up to pick freaking fruit. They're not.
Dude, that is way bigger argument than fruit. We're talking about trucking, we're talking about housing, we're talking about nursing.
If I could just get one opportunity to complete.
We're talking about nursing. Dude, finish your fucking point, dude.
I yield and I let you finish your point.
Finish your point.
Right. I didn't move into your way. I didn't interrupt you. I moved out of the way. And I let you finish your point. I'm just trying to finish my thought.
Be so emotional.
Y'all start interrupting the man. Let the man finish.
You need to finish now.
Mr. Finley.
I'm not done.
Mr. Finley.
I'm not done. My point.
You have 60 seconds to finish.
Talking about why black people, because black people getting pushed out because of these fucking people.
I'm just trying to land my point. I'm not trying to be long-winded, but when they interrupt, I lose my train of thought. And have to read.
Let him land. I'll let him land.
1 second.
In any event,
can you hear me or no?
I can hear loud.
Perfect, and thank you. You have 60 seconds to land your point. If you guys could just allow people to finish, it would stop so much of the back and forth. Appreciate it.
Thank you. The net of what I'm saying is this new argument that is the immigrants is a lie. They're not the problem. They're not stealing jobs, right? They're not stealing housing, right? And blacks, we shouldn't even be looking at public housing, right? We should be looking bigger than that. But the big problem is freaking the billionaires that have created this problem. The reason they don't want to solve it is because yes, they benefit. They benefit from the cheap labor, just like when they shipped good union jobs to Mexico for cheaper labor. It didn't lower the price of anything. You just created a whole new working class that they can exploit. And they're going to continue to do it. And then we're going to continue to point the finger at the wrong people.
Also done by NAFTA. Also done by... Like I said, most of the problems that we keep on talking about always lined up either from a liberal or a globalist that have fucked the problem off. Where motherfucker NAFTA destroyed, and that came from Bill Clinton, that literally accelerated and destroyed the damn black community. Manufacturing and warehousing is done by black people.
I agree with you.
Like, dude, and illegal immigrants, these motherfuckers got illegals in fucking both medical facilities where these are black men and black women that's getting displaced because the staffing agencies hiring nothing but Filipinos that's cheap labor and taking away jobs for black people in the Bay Area. Like, I hate when we use the damn fruit picking argument, and that's how I know that we listen to Jasmine Crockett and white liberals again. Where once again we being conned out again, where now we're assisting with people that will take motherfucking tech jobs, H-1B1 visas for all my smart tech brothers and all my sisters that's in the healthcare sector where they say, damn, Maria don't fucking speak no English, fake credentials, got her shit from the damn downtown somewhere, and literally they're casting a blind eye. They had a black woman that worked for the DMV said at her job that Lily said out of her mouth, and she was a whistleblower that actually came out with it, where her job was just for IDs, identifications, driver's license, $200 a pop. So just imagine when you have a segment of an industry based off of undercutting. I don't see how possibly black people can compete unless they have the abilities of getting their own business funding, business credit, their family-owned real estate, or they get access to real estate where they can at least sub-jump that. But most black people are in the W-2 wage, and that's where Brother Un keeps saying we need to get out of the wages aspect and get on the investor-owner aspect. That's only how we can combat our stupid-ass policies that we keep going for. Like, if anything, we add another 20 million people. Mr. Finley, I would just ask this question. How many motherfucking illegals and immigrants that we got placed in the country for you to understand that Americans are being affected? 100 million? 200 million? Matter of fact, let's let 1 billion people in the damn country and see how much effectiveness that will help the black community. And I'm done.
Can I be quick with what
Go ahead, Isaac.
There was someone else going to speak.
Go ahead, Brother Isaac.
Okay, I'm going to be fast. Who destroyed the black community? Or what destroyed the black family? The people that created these families not given a reason to continue them. Here is where I'm going to not be a contrarian and just say it. If you think this is important, then every single goddamn moment of your life should have been making sure that the next generation after you had a reason to continue what you think is important, not based on feelings, based on why they're continuing it. If you did not do that, congratulations. You are the reason for this title and you contributed to it. Because me, am I responsible? Hell yeah. I'm not going to say I'm not. I am not going to be given any reason to continue this. So I will claim that responsibility because I don't think it's important. Everyone who does not give a reason for the next generation based on what the next generation wants and is going to do is responsible for what they think is important, not continuing. That is human. It has nothing to do with a skin color. So if you, one human, wants another human to continue something, it is then your prerogative to make sure that thing you hold so dear, that ideology you think is so important, is going to be continued by whatever and for whatever means necessary. If you do not do that to the best of your ability, you've contributed to this title and you deserve it dying. That's it.
No, we're not gonna let the white man talk to us like that. For real.
Not white, man. Never been white in my day of my life.
Oh God, you sound so white.
Man,
that's sad to hear.
Wow.
But yeah, that's what I gotta say, and I'll leave it alone.
And Brother Isaac, you're right, because the children is gonna face the effects of legal immigration more than anything. Because if you wasn't getting prioritized when you was 35% of the population, what makes you think you're going to prioritize when you're 5% of the population? And Brother Finley, that's a shame. Black Florida has been strongly affected by illegal immigration from black men, truck drivers, and construction workers. And we got 2.6 million construction workers and 3 million black men truckers. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's when you're a white collar brother, you don't see what the blue collar brother got to go through.
Okay, let me just do a quick room reset. I don't know if one's been done in a minute. I had to step away from the phone. This is by any means necessary. Most of you guys know this is King Six House. He opened up the room, but he had to dip out. I'm sure he'll be back. Today we're talking about who or what destroyed the black family. Anybody's welcome to come up and offer their submission. And yeah. The mic is, I guess we'll go popcorn style because we don't have a queue. So the mic is on whoever would like to take it and add to the title of the room. Thank you.
I so take offense when I hear my people capping or caping for immigration and saying that immigration is not the problem. Immigration is not the entire problem, but it is a huge problem in the black community. Immigrants such as from Africa, West Africa, and Mexico, and Colombia, and Haitians, all of them were brought here to be the buffer class, the class to push Black Americans and keep us underfoot. If that were not so, our foot, right? It's all about how American liberals have set this thing up to keep us under. They're still mad that we got freed in the first place. They're still upset. Let's keep it 100. Liberals are still upset that we not picking cotton. That part. So to punish us over the last 200 years, they have literally done everything in their power to keep us underfoot. But God keeps continuing to bring us up. Whatever God is that you serve, for some reason loves black people and continues to hold us down. But I can't stand it. It just hurts my little heart when I hear a black man who's probably married to a white woman talk cake for immigrants, tell me that immigration is not our problem. Fortunately enough, I live in a place where we we don't take certain state or federally giving housing programs, so I don't see as many immigrants in my building. And I really think that the person who owns this building has to be some sort of anti-immigrant, because I've seen them turn them away at the door. I don't have to smell that smell, that Somali cooking smell. I don't have to do none of that. I'm free of the damn immigrants until I walk out the door, right? But you just sit here and tell me that they are not our problem. What world and this is rhetorical, you ain't got to come up here mic and ask me, what world could you possibly be living in that would tell you that they are not drastically affecting the economy of the black man and woman? With that, I will land my plane, you ignorant motherfucker.
Yeah, immigrants are not our problem. They never have been our problem. Immigration has built this country into
Black people did, man.
boundaries of the world. And one of the they've helped build this country one of the greatest economic powerhouses in the world. The problem in this country is the wealth class that has us infighting and blaming each other when they're the problem. They're the reason.
Don't you know that helps the wealthy?
They're the reason that our foreign policy is trash. They're the reason that we are kidnapping presidents in other countries trying to install our own leadership when that has never worked. Like, they're the reason that every country from Mexico to Argentina has been interfered with by our country, right? We've overthrown their government or interfered somehow. They're the reason that we took Hawaii from the kingdom, right? In the name of capitalism, right? They're the reason that Puerto Rico is not a 51st state. It should be, right? They're the reason that.
Brother, what does that have to do with black Americans, bro? What does that have to do with black Americans?
Because we're under the same barrel.
Everybody on the world
We're under the same barrel, right? That the rest of them are under, right? And we can't see it, right? And so we're pointing the finger at the people that have nothing and saying, well, it's their fault. It's their fault. It's not their fault.
But you're justifying.
It's the people that have told us to point the finger at them that's their fault.
The ideology I'm gonna speak on is you are justifying the gun and not the bullet that hit them. The bullet that hit us is that's what we're saying. Like, them implementing these things, like just like you said, yes, them being in our neighborhood, that hurts. Yes, it will affect you, especially if you are in the same affordable class. Like, it is what it is. If you going after the same, and it's not public housing too. I want to say that. It ain't got nothing to do with public housing. It ain't got nothing to do with none of that. It got everything to do with people trying to find housing that they can afford. So when you have other competition coming into your neighborhood, hell yeah, that could probably either push you to a whole different neighborhood to probably find different affordable housing, or you probably gonna stay there and you probably might have to move to the worst side than this side because of, you know what I mean? It's just, it's crazy. It's a lot, man.
For me, the smartest thing that rich people could have ever done was tell poor people that other poor people were their problem. It was the greatest farce. It was the greatest farce. It's like the poor white people that think that black people are taking their jobs. And what Trump call them black jobs? The immigrants are taking our black jobs. Most of the immigrants are doing jobs your ass don't want to do anyway. Like, I don't know why we play this game as though those people are taking doctor positions. I ain't never seen an illegal immigrant as a doctor.
They took nursing positions.
Sean, here's the thing.
There's still a nursing shortage.
Right, there's still a nursing shortage, so you can still get a job, you just may not be qualified. That's not my problem, right? So, look, the thing is, a lot of people, they want to blame somebody else for their problems, and I always ask them to look at their life. Tell me what system held you down. Tell me who stopped you from being great. And usually there's no answer because people don't want to be reflective of their own choices. Now, I'm not saying there aren't things that hold us all back in this country, but the overwhelming majority of the things that hold you back is more of a class thing than a race thing. Okay? So, it sounds good for us to blame the immigrants for everything, but I always tell people, look up, look down, and tell me who's stopping you from going to school, stopping you from getting a better job, stopping you from getting higher education. I don't know, because it didn't stop me. So,
what happens when you have, what happens if you have a bigoted damn hiring manager and he was a damn immigrant 25 years ago? Have you been to LA?
So, Sean, no, I haven't
been to LA?
No, Sean, I haven't.
Do you know how damaging that shit was for black LA?
So I understand, Sean, but I'm going to tell you like I tell everybody else. If where you're at doesn't work for you, move. Like, if it doesn't work for you, move, because I don't have that issue here in Virginia. Sorry. I don't have immigrants taking our jobs. If anything, we had the military people taking our jobs out here. So, honestly.
Different regions, I guess.
Right, different regions. I would never live in LA anyway because it's just expensive in general in California, right? So, you live in a shack and it's going to cost you $1 million. So, I'm just not trying to, I get it, but at the same time, it's like,
Just like it could be a bigoted immigrant, it could be a bigoted black person. We know black people that
It
don't
sound like you ain't give me no job either.
Sean, I work for myself, and I would give you a job if you would like to work for me. But here's the thing, right? Like I said, there's a lot of people that would try to get a job, and they're not qualified for the job, and then they get mad that the immigrant got it. He was more qualified than you, and you weren't qualified. So
we weren't even talking about jobs, though.
I mean, not even just jobs, just in general, right? Like, okay, poor people, there's poor white people in y'all neighborhoods, it's poor Mexican people in your neighborhoods that ain't fucking immigrants. Okay? Like, and they're gonna be in your neighborhood because it's a class thing, not a immigration thing.
We were saying about affordability.
Thank you.
Strictly talking about affordability. Nothing else.
The real affordability is because the white people own everything and they're raising up y'all rent. That's really what it is. It has nothing to do with the people living in your neighborhood.
Right, we're not disagreeing. I don't think we're disagreeing with y'all. We're just pointing out the fact that when they implement these things, yes, them shots being thrown at us, they hurt. That's all I'm saying.
And they help the rich anyway.
That's all right, and they hurt them anyway. Like, that's exactly what I'm saying.
But you guys,
let's move the mic around.
Wait, hold on, guys. Let me just say this real quick. Jane in the audience, Leroy in the audience, King Slim in the audience. You guys raised your hand to come up. I invited you up. If you're not able to join and you want to join, leave the room and come back. But I did invite you guys to come up. Go ahead, guys.
I mean, I just wanted to hear some of the mods give us some actual scholarship to the things that she's saying, preferably like a Steph, Nye, Doc, Viv. I think y'all should provide some scholarship, so some understanding can be had.
Well, here's my thing. I'm not gonna go back and forth with Negroes about what immigrants are doing because I, in my capacity as an entertainment news reporter, a lot of documents have come across my desk about how the immigrants, the migrants, the illegals, we want to phrase it, all the benefits that they get. Okay, I'm living in here in Chicagoland area. I remember a year or two ago when the immigrants were placed where young black kids were moved out of their youth homes or group facilities, recreational centers. Elderly people were booted from their residence, the elderly centers to make way for these immigrants. People who work in service industry showing receipts or keeping copies of the thousands of dollars some of these mothers, these immigrant mothers are receiving in food stamp benefits, et cetera, et cetera. And so it would just not be to my mental health to go back and forth with Negroes who say none of this is happening, it's not impacting our communities, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody has their perspective. And I'm not trying to be funny when I say this. I know we all live in different multiverses on different timelines. On my timeline, I see where my people are being impacted. Others on the stage live in a multiverse where black people aren't being impacted. Once again, it goes back to the white man. As sister just said, the white man is raising the rent, so blame the white man. So I have no scholarship. All I can offer is perspective based on receipts and experience. I listen to black people here in Chicagoland area attend town halls, call out the mayor in Chicago, call out local aldermen because they're frustrated with these immigrants placed in our communities. ICE last year, ICE came down in that one black neighborhood in Chicago and everybody went crazy. Why are they here? They're targeting blacks. No, because your Democratic leaders put them in your communities. And now Trump sent them to your community, not because you're black, but because that's where the Democrats you vote for put them to reside. And folks don't want to address that. I'm not saying folks in this room. I'm just talking about when we have this conversation overall. So I've exhausted myself going back and forth on the immigration talk because we're so divided, as we can see on this stage. And of course, I'm going to say something polarizing, and I don't care who's offended. Black liberals will never get it. Black conservatives do. And I will yield the mic.
Wow. Okay, so can I jump in there? I'm jumping there real quick. Here in Minnesota, 81% of Somali head of household-led people receive some form of government assistance. That's 81%, right? You can look it up. Now, while black people are 13.6% so-called of this country, we are even being pushed out of basic food stamps, right? Somalian families can come here and get $4,000 or $5,000 worth of food stamps. We have that wonderful office called the Office of what, everybody? New Americans. And so the Office of New Americans, not only do they didn't have a credit score before they got here, but when they get here they do. They weren't driving brand new cars before they got here, but when they get here they are. They make up for 90% of the Uber drivers. As we saw with the PCA companies, the home health care companies, majority of the home health companies were Somalian led. Now let me tell you why. There's a reason. If you owe child support, if you had a misdemeanor, if you had so much as a spit on the sidewalk and you are a black person, you cannot get a license to open up to take care of other people. You can't even be an employee of the PCA company that are owned by Somalians because DHS won't give you authorization. They won't allow you to. It's been systematically set up. While they are increasing the workforce for immigrants, they are decreasing the eligibility for black Americans. So yes, immigration is a problem, but not only immigration is a problem, it's these white liberals and these black liberals and these black liberal women. Oh my God.
And the corporations that actually usher in this shit too.
And they have a lot to do with the influx of immigration and these people being our primary competition, so to speak. We're really not competition because they got us, hands down, these crackers out here then gave them with everything they need, thanks to the Office of what? New American. And that was
So I guess my question would be, wouldn't that mean that the majority of black people are just not in poverty? Like, I don't know why because a lot of this stuff has income limits. The average black family is making like $55,000, right?
That's a lot.
You can get that's a lot.
You're making like for a black family in Minnesota.
The majority of blacks aren't in poverty, Danielle. You're right.
I know the majority of black people are not living in poverty. So why? So the majority of them, it would make sense for the majority of them not to be on government assistance. Because the majority of black people don't live in poverty.
Majority of them are not in poverty. The poverty line is 15,000. So the one who is under that poverty line is more than likely i.e. immigrant or an illegal immigrant who is coming in with nothing, preferably from a country where the economics are not great. And then they're coming over on H-1B work visas, which have been found to be fraudulent as well. Sean mentioned staffing companies. The staffing companies have been fraudulent as well. We can look at the construction industry, and we can't say that they're not replacing quote-unquote black jobs, because that construction industry or blue-collar jobs were the black man's industry, especially before integration and up into the mid-70s and 80s. But prior to the 80s, the black man did 70% of the blue-collar work, whereas today he does about 26% of the blue-collar work. And we can't say it's because he's lazy and he doesn't want to pick fruit in the fields. No, it's because this nigga had the crime bill thrown at him for one, and then we're going to say that niggas are criminals. But it's funny that all of these black men have been labeled with felonies over everybody else in the world. But I guess it's just because we're savages, right? Like, we're the savages and the criminals, but all of our crimes are petty crimes. Petty crimes would be due from the economics of the area. All of the bills that laid out earlier. We could talk about the Highway Act. We could talk about the Heart Sellers Act that put the immigrants ahead. We could talk about the fact that the 1965 civil rights legislation made minority women the major minority, and then all the others after that. So Dr. Clyde has told us about all of the subgroups of immigrants that have been put in place. And these are not me. I'm a young nigga. These are old niggas that's been telling us what was going on and what the future was going to look like. And he didn't say it's because of black people are just lazy and don't want to do any work. He said because there's a system that is literally going after the black family, the black economics, and everything under that. So, I mean, it's cool to say that your life not being affected, and probably a lot of our lives aren't affected in the same way because we on these $1,000 devices every single day getting our opinions off. So none of us are fucked up in that regard. So to only point out that, you know, the immigrants are doing black jobs, you guys, you smart ones, would be very ignorant to only have that as the basis of your statement while you got this expensive ass phone that can go give you all of the disparities that have been placed on black people, black women, black men, black maternal health, and everything under it, black mental health. Like, come on, man. Like,
so neighborhood, I hear you, but here's the difference, though.
It's cool, and I understand that everybody's life isn't fucked up, right? My life isn't fucked up, right? But I know what has happened throughout history that fucks up the collective.
Right, so
right?
neighborhood,
So
but here's the problem.
Hold on, woman, you had a whole lot of time to say whatever the fuck
I didn't even talk that long.
Nobody gave you pushback. Nobody gave you any data. You didn't give us any data. You didn't give us any years, times, dates, events, or anything for us to work with outside of black people aren't working black jobs.
That's not
like
what I
you said. Nothing. You gave us nothing. And I literally stopped, didn't want to say anything, and I wanted to give others the chance to actually give you the actual information, and it wouldn't be an argument. This is just information. This is just information that has been available to all of us to go and explore and look at. Instead of just trying to throw stereotypes at black people, we can actually go look at history.
That.
Yeah, baby. That's fine.
Lawful, you are off mic.
Lawful, you have my
interrupting my monologue, sir.
Apologies, I didn't.
I have Danielle already interrupted me, and then you.
Apologies.
So again, oh no, you're good, Lawful. I'm just talking shit. But again, let's do more exploring of the information. Let's talk of stereotypes and how good our individual lives are. Because again, all of our individual lives are perfect. We're on Clubhouse. Everybody's rich. Everybody's life is great. Everybody came from two-parent households. Everybody does the best for their kids. Everybody is just so wonderful on Clubhouse. No, I will not be landing my planes. But no, go ahead, Daniel. You can go.
Child, you just be talking. Jesus Christ. Look, I never said any black stereotypes.
And now you're getting
I never said any black. I don't care.
Because you say just someone is just talking, but you gave no information, you gave no data
Neither did you.
to back up any of your claims.
You can go
but you just literally want to run your mouth. And I get the right to interrupt you because you interrupted me while I was talking. So I'm only giving you what you gave me and the energy that you gave.
I don't know who keeps muting me because I was talking and he interrupted me.
They're muting you because you were giving respect to say whatever the fuck you wanted to say.
And then you interrupted me, you slow ass nigga.
No, I didn't interrupt you. No. Because I was the one who made space for people to give more information and data, and nobody did that. So here we are getting at least some data, because this is King Six Room, who is the historical, I always forget, forensics, you know, so we got to look at the history if we go be in King Six Room, right? This isn't just, let's just throw out a whole bunch of nothingness without something for us to levitate, you know, grab on and really deal with it. But if you're just giving all of this stupid ass opinions and your little personal fucking lifestyle that nobody gives a fuck about, then you have the floor to speak. But nobody gives a fuck about y'all personal life. Y'all personal life isn't the topic. It's black families.
We spoke about the overwhelming majority.
The crime bill had nothing to do with immigrants. The Highway Act had nothing to do with immigrants.
These narratives that the immigrants
It's a
are good at
combination.
It's the
Yeah,
narrative.
Get my fucking thing. I'm back, bitch. Get my thing.
The narrative.
We have one mic on whoever the gentleman
The narrative.
who's speaking. Like, for real.
The narrative, this fake narrative.
Oh my
that,
God!
again,
You're in the neighborhood of being. Oh my God!
Welcome back.
The neighborhood.
No, because you niggas, now you can't even give any information.
The narrative.
I'm not here to give information. I'm not the host.
What are we here for?
The narrative.
I'm here to support the room and add my comments.
What are we here for? So don't be mad at the motherfucker who want to give the information. Don't be mad at the person who wants to give the information to say, oh God, when you're literally listening to people
You're not going
not
to
give
overtalk
any neighborhood. Why are you?
You're not going to overtalk me, neighborhood. Okay?
We won't do that. We won't do that. Where you at, bro?
So yeah, I put
Don't do
it
that.
because you're not going to
We're not
overtalk
doing that.
me. It's always fucking disrespectful. Because he wants to police the conversation, police what people say.
You can't
I'm
kill
not
the way
being
people support
doctor.
our
Oh my
organization.
God.
We cannot do
Oh
it when
my
people support
effing
our
God.
organization.
Can I speak? You know what? You got it. Run the room. Go ahead. Run the room. I don't have anything to say. Y'all fucking run the room. This is absolutely ridiculous. Okay? I'm not King Sick. I'm not here to offer scholarship. I provide my opinion on the topic. Okay?
We'll
Now,
need
if anybody has
we
a
have a
problem
long
with
list
that,
of opinions. It's about time that y'all get some scholarship to follow up all these raggedy ass
still you
opinions.
won't shut the fuck
That's
up.
what this room.
He don't know how to
Still
stay
you won't shut the fuck up.
Throw him down there one more time. Do not do that.
But I
He's a
can't talk.
supporter. We have feelings. He has been an integral part of this organization.
He can cut everybody off.
I don't interrupt anybody. But
Do
why
not
can
do
I
that,
talk?
No, you want to move me.
I don't
You want to
interrupt
move me because
anybody.
you
Why
can't
I
get
talk?
the information.
But why
That's
can
why
I
you
talk,
want to
though?
move me.
But
You
why
want to
can I
mute
talk?
me.
I don't
When I
think
gave the
people
opportunity,
talk.
I stopped and gave the
I can't
opportunity
talk.
for
I'm
y'all to
trying to
get the
understand why I
information.
can't talk. I'm
No,
just
you
trying to
can't talk.
understand
I get you.
why
Y'all
I
not
can't
giving
talk
any information.
and
Y'all
why
not
I
giving scholarship.
keep
Y'all not doing
interrupted.
shit.
Drop the address.
No, why do you need to talk if you're not giving any
Person yelling
scholarship?
at me
And
for
you
moving
said you
him.
can't
He
give
think
the
he important,
scholarship.
but
What
he
the fuck
not.
do you need to talk about? Y'all
Okay,
think
no,
you're
okay,
wrong.
Let's stop arguing, y'all. Let's stop. Let's stop arguing. And please stop putting him down.
Because
Don't do that.
why does he
Keep cutting everybody off.
You want to explain to me, doctor, why he can continue to?
Y'all was arguing back and forth.
I'm not arguing with anybody. That's the whole point.
Because he yelled at him, so yell at you.
Doctor. Neighborhood's the one taking subtle jabs, talking about I'm not offering any scholarship, I'm not saying anything. When here's the thing, I've been coming into this room for years. Everybody who knows me on this app in this particular space knows I don't proclaim to be a scholar. I add my voice and opinion where necessary to the conversation. I'm not here to educate anybody on anything. If he has a problem with that, take it up with King Sick. I don't need the subtle insults and the disrespect about my contributions to the stage. And now you yelling at me for moving him to the goo. And the only reason why I did that is because he won't let me finish what I have to say. Why is that a problem with you lot? I don't interrupt anybody on this stage. But the minute I say something, it's a bunch of back talk, disrespect, what you're doing, what you're not doing. Are you effing kidding me? This man doesn't even respect King Sick in the space. Did you see how he treated King Sick yesterday in his own space? You mammy and windmill mammies for these emotionally stunted men really need to get a fucking grip.
That's the main problem in our community.
As I was saying in response to what he was saying, he's naming a bunch of stuff that's not relevant to immigrants. It was detrimental to blacks. I agree with that point, but it's not. Immigrants aren't the problem. We've heard these narratives before. As somebody in a like they mentioned nursing, right? There's a shortage in nursing, but we're saying immigrants are taking nursing jobs. When anybody that has a nursing degree can be a freaking nurse right now if they wanted to, because literally almost every major metropolitan area in this country is hiring nurses right now.
Well, I mentioned
I'm a pilot. I'm a pilot. I had to listen to people talk about DEI and pilots. There's a shortage, meaning that if you're qualified, right? Anybody with the qualifications, right, can get into the field because there is a shortage. They're hiring left and right. Yes, there's a problem with immigrants with the H-1B visas, right? That they're underpaying them, right? That's a whole separate issue that doesn't have to do with black people because black people don't really exist in those STEM fields. That there's that problem. They don't exist. I'll say it again. They don't really exist in those.
That is the same way I probably just am not going to affirm
someone in this behavior that again is personal quality that them themselves have chosen